Hello everyone, welcome back to our podcast called Difficultish, a podcast about different South Asian narratives. This is my co-host,
Master.
and this is your other co-host, Mahua Khan. And before we get started,
like the video, subscribe to the YouTube, and rate the podcast.
Hey.
Review the podcast 5-star.
What should they rate? What should they write?
Love you.
That's it. Like
you guys
feedback?
nope, no constructive criticism. Lie to us. Tell us.
Lie to us.
Tell us good things.
That we're amazing.
That's all.
And as always, make sure to listen to the end of the episode to get the emoji of the week that you can comment down below, so we know that you're a real, listener and supporter.
What are we talking about today?
We're just doing some advice today. It's been a few months since we've done a little advice session, and you guys always send in such great questions for us to give us our unwarranted opinions on. Unwarranted and unprofessional, might I add, okay? We're not professionals, we're not therapists, we're not anywhere up there, okay? We're just like silly goobers, just telling you what we would do in your situation, or if we did go through something similar, what we have done.
There you go.
That have worked for us, okay?
What are you like a professional in? Like what would you say you're just like the most professional at?
I'm not like a big fan of the word professional.
Oh, okay.
You know why?
Why?
Because I don't know if this is a hot take. Because even if you have your master's or your PhD or whatever it is in like your dedicated designated field, I feel like there's still so much knowledge that you can learn. Okay. Beyond getting that degree.
So it makes you a professional.
You can't be a professional.
Never?
No, like even Tony Hawk, like he's like a professional like skateboarder, right? Which is great because he's amazing. But he still can learn things.
I hear you.
Tony
Hawk. We just lost our chances having him on the podcast. This dink doink just said you're not a professional skateboarder.
Are you a professional in anything?
Chef?
You're a professional chef.
Yeah, when you got like a restaurant, when you got a restaurant owner calling you chef,
right? Yeah.
Sorry.
Right. Yeah, your head was so big after that compliment, right?
Anyways, today is an advice session.
Yeah.
We have 5 or 6 responses, something like that. Y'all always send in a bunch. This is like our 5th or 6th one. Take everything we say lightly.
With a grain of salt.
If you follow what we say and your life becomes turmoil, not responsible.
Don't say that, bro.
So yeah, what's up? Like, how are you? What's going on?
I'm good.
Anything new with you?
August is a busy month.
Yeah. If y'all listen to this, obviously y'all listen. Anyway, it's her birthday. Clap it up. Oh, happy birthday. She just turned 26. Reflections on 25 going to 26.
Many reflections.
Okay.
Maybe more to like.
Okay. Top 3.
More than I can. Top 3 already? Oh, okay. What I said before, you're never really like the smartest in the room, or like act like you're not the smartest in the room or the most professional in the room, because there's so much more to learn, right?
Facts.
Second is, don't put yourself in rooms where you have to like change yourself to be
you,
well liked. Be you. Because a lot of us are like, oh my god, like I have to please this person, I have to please that person, and then we're like stretching ourselves thin without really being our own person. And then we end up being less confident and, insecure and this and that, when we just shouldn't put ourselves around those people.
Got it.
Or just like maybe put yourself around that people, but like be more okay with being yourself.
Okay.
But also, you're turning 26 next week.
Not.
Okay? It's not just me in this game. Your birthday is also coming up.
I swear I'm not.
What are some things you've learned? No, you've learned a lot this year. Come on.
Mental health is important. That's one.
That was an emphasis more this year than the other previous years. Okay.
And mental health takes time. It's a muscle that needs to be
like practiced.
Trained.
Yeah.
Feel me? And you don't see results instantly. Health in general is important. Health in general is important. I think that's one that I learned this year. And I also think as you elevate in life, like don't ever forget like kind of not only like where you started from, but just like the startings of life and just like the basic foundation of living. Like
stay humble.
Like don't ever forget to just have regular conversation with regular people. You know, don't ever forget to like greet the cab driver. Don't ever forget to, you know, just like these basic human things. I think as people, you know, what happens as people get older, they move up in a career or whatever. They forget. They're like, not as important. But it's like, you know, there are still people living regular, even though you might have gone somewhere else. There's still people living regular life. Still treat them like regular people.
You're a big cab driver greeter.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you're a big commuter.
Yeah, I'm a big like, you know, I love to know like where they from, and like I'm big on like trying to learn something about, and this I was going to save this for my advice cuz I was thinking about it a lot. But I'm big on like just trying to learn at least one thing about every single culture. Because like when like I've had this happen to me where like I'll have like someone who's not Bengali mention something Bengali, and it just like warms my heart because it's like that's something that they went out of the way to like learn and remember, and like, you know, so yeah, like we don't gotta get into this, but I just think it's important to like, you know, have some sort of connection to like any person from whatever background. So yeah, 26 don't like it, not 26 yet. I'm savoring the days. I got 16 more left or something, but you know, regardless of gonna happen, you can't avoid fall the time. Yeah. Yeah.
You're gonna have a great 26.
Hope so.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Yeah, inshallah.
Yeah,
what's
wedding
up?
Season has just.
Wedding season. What's up?
Just went through.
What's like your favorite?
It was like a storm. You know, we just got through the storm. It was a good storm. It wasn't a bad storm. It was just very busy.
What's like a good storm? What's an example? Like a sprinkle?
No, it doesn't have to be like a real thing. It could be just like a made up thing. But like a storm in a good way, because, you know, we love celebrating our people in our life, like our friends and family and loved ones. Like there were so many weddings that we went. He actually went to his first 2 Desi weddings in the past few months. Bought his own suit. He bought his own suit, and he was such a good dancer that he was put into almost all of the dance routines. There was at least 8 or 10 routines that we were all in. Yeah. And I'm telling you, we had like back-to-back practices for weeks and months straight. Like, Desi people don't play about their dance practices. And these weddings went ham. Like, so many guests, so much like different like photo booths, and then the food, and then the venues were amazing. It's just like, it just outdoes one another.
If y'all get married, need choreography. What's up? Like, I've never done it before, but you know.
What do you mean you've never done it before?
I mean, I'm doing a little sum. I mean, at this point, we would have done it.
But you've done choreography. Oh, you mean like you are the teacher. We're
surprising my sister with some choreography. This episode is out by then. Right. She doesn't know about Apple. If you're listening, surprise.
Surprise.
I choreoed. What's up? Like, you want to start?
Yeah, let's start.
Cool. Yeah, this is an advice session. We're giving y'all some advice. And
it can be advice on just career, anything. High school, food. How to be more emotionally mature,
how to like make a hot dog.
That's probably
whatever you want. Really,
that could be more.
She likes to stay, you know, like serious, like, you know, like emotions and stuff. I'm here to have fun.
Right.
I'm here to, you know, lollygag a little bit. Right. What's up? What are we doing?
All right. So the first question, this person said, they have a stable job, dream apartment, healthy body, yet I still feel unfulfilled. Why do I feel this? So I see that here he says that he has a stable job, right? Stable job doesn't always necessarily mean your most happy job or your most fulfilling job, right? And also on top of that, obviously we don't know anything about this person beyond just what they wrote here, so we can't like assume. But from what I'm like understanding kind of from this question is that they have like the dream alleged life that they grew up wanting to have, right? But I think as we get older and we start getting those things that we think are our dreams, we realize that they're not really our dreams. Maybe they're kind of like the dreams that we were fed the narrative of growing up, like, you know, have that big house, have like that family and the kids, and then live in that like suburban area, take care of your parents. Like, that is obviously a huge dream, right? But then sometimes we realize that like we didn't really have the time or space to dream for ourselves and like think about what we actually wanted, you know?
Yeah.
So like obviously I can't speak on this person entirely. I don't know exactly what he's going through or what his situation is, but stable job doesn't always necessarily mean that that's like the field that you should be going in. Or even if it is, like, a stable job is great. It gives you income, and you know, at the end of the day, you don't have to be working in something that you're passionate about necessarily. But maybe on top of that stable job, it's nice to have like a passion that you're working on, like a side hobby, like a side, like something on the side that like gets you excited to wake up in the morning and like has some sort of like purpose for you, you know?
I think the thing is like, it's like, you know, we have souls at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You know, like our lives are our mind, body, soul. Like the stuff that he was describing, like they feed your mind and your body, but what are you doing to feed your soul? Like what are you doing to feed and fulfill like your purpose for living? Your purpose is not to have a stable job. Your purpose is not to live a healthy life. Those are things that just, you know, help drive the vessel of you to find your purpose and to like fulfill your soul and like your life's like reason for being here, you know. So I think a lot about how obviously it's really important to have stable income, healthy, everything he listed, but like you do that in order to fulfill your purpose, to have like a stronger backbone and a stronger foundation to do what it is that your soul is actually craving, which is different for everybody, you know. I say all the time, like I love writing, and in my dream life on some remote island just writing, and I think so much about like what I want to do for the rest of my 20s, which is work hard, save money, do the family stuff, take care of everything, just so I can end up on this remote island writing my poetry.
Right.
And that's what feeds my soul. And I think since I'm chasing that, that's why like I like, yeah, at moments you'll have like a feeling of kind of like emptiness and disparity because I'm not there yet. But it's like, that's like the whole reason why I'm doing all this stuff is to get to that point. So, you know, we don't know this person, but I think it's important to just stay completely aligned with what is like your soul's purpose for like being in this world, and understand that like everything that you listed is foundation. Like, and you can't like, I don't want to go to this island now to write this poetry. I'm gonna be like, yo, what the fuck I'm doing? Like my mom's still da da, like everybody's still da da. I'm not going to be fed because I don't have like the backbone to do that yet, or like the strong foundation, but it sounds like you do. So I envy people that are in that position, whereas like he might be looking at, you know, like a artist or someone else that look like they're, you know, at a point where they're beginning to like feed themselves and feed like their soul and their purpose, and where they are or aren't. I think this person has to understand that like they are in the prime position to start doing what it is that like they are meant to be doing.
But what would you say to someone that like doesn't know what their purpose is, like who doesn't know what they're meant to be doing?
It's in there. They just gotta unlock it.
Yeah,
like it's in there. It's not something that I can't tell you what you gotta do.
Yeah,
you just gotta unlock it. You just gotta break down like all the walls that you know, whether it's therapy, figuring out what's blocking. Like it's in there, but it's gonna be shrouded. It's gonna be, you know, your parents telling you your whole life that you gotta do this and do that, and like you've lost sense of like what is your soul's purpose. Like what is it that feeds you?
Even if you like go back and get in touch with like your inner child, like what you used to like when you were little, whether it's like drawing or like playing the guitar or whatever it is, and then you kind of stopped because, you know, life got in the way, you got into school or like you became an adult. Usually that's like what brings you joy. You just like don't have the time or place to like do it anymore, but like maybe get back into that, or even just see what makes you feel excited, what makes you feel like so happy and like genuinely proud of yourself and the world, whether it's like helping people or whether it's like, you know, volunteering or like talking to just people and like giving them some of your services or advice or whatever it is. Like I think that really pushes you into the right direction on like what you want to do as your side hobby or like your passion, or what you want to do on top of just like a 9-to-5, you know. And again, at the end of the day, like some people are completely fine with just a 9-to-5 and going to the gym and then having like that like traditional lifestyle, I guess, without extra stuff on top of that, which is completely fine as well. But this is for the people that feel some sort of like unfulfillment in some way, you know.
Yeah, I think again, it's you know, you who wrote this, like you're in prime position to start this, and you're in a position that a lot of people envy, and like I'm speaking, very vaguely about what your life is like, but it sounds like you're in a good position, and like you're happy with where you are in life. Now is the best time ever to start understanding and start looking back and to start pondering on what is it that like actually makes you happy, and spend more time doing that. Because if I had all that, I'd be doing my time?
What?
Chess.
Remember how we went to the wedding the other day and that uncle was just playing chess?
It's good. Those vibes.
Yeah.
Those good vibes. He said, my cousin's son is getting married.
Time to win a chess
He could wait.
Yeah.
He could wait. I got business to take care of.
Right.
I feel that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good question.
Thanks.
Hope we answered it.
Yeah.
All right. So someone said, handling siblings. I have an older brother and a younger sister. They usually push things to me. So this sounds like
This sounds like
he's the middle child.
Okay.
And they usually like push responsibilities onto him. How you feel about that? Maybe like establishing communication and like boundaries and responsibilities.
I don't have an answer for this. But the only thing
that's okay.
The only thing that I can say as a younger brother who has had a journey of a relationship with his older sister is that time heals all. It's vague, but when me and my sister were in it, we were in it, and there wasn't a conversation that was gonna flip things over. There wasn't this or that was like next day it's like they gotta live their life, you gotta live your life, and like you guys will connect paths later on. That's not an answer to the question, but I just want to put that out there because maybe like an extended question is I feel like a lot of people who have troublesome relationships with their siblings is they gonna think it's be like that for like forever. They don't know how to fix it. They don't know what they could do, if there's anything that could be done. But it's like I think as you live your life and as they live their life, you guys are gonna continue to yearn for each other and yearn for like a relationship. As long as both you guys are open to it, you guys are gonna come back together. But
I think something else on top of that, like related to time, is that time heals all, where it will like heal the communication and like your relationship and things like that. But I also think with time, regardless of how much you communicate to your siblings or sibling of how much they should pick up the plate and like pick up the responsibilities and do this and that, if they're not willing to do it, or like if they're not in the mindset to do it, they're not going to help you, right? They can say all they want, that they want to change, they want to help you, but if they're not actually like willing to make that change and like put in the actions, then it's not going to happen. But I think with time, as they get older, as you get older, as time passes, they're going to get to a part in their life where they're like, oh crap, like now like shit's real, I'm getting more mature, like I have to pick things up, right? And it's like unfortunate because it's like, one sibling might be doing things for like 10 years or however many years, and they're waiting for their other siblings to like do more. But it's like at the end of the day, that sibling has to be that person to like do it on their own accord.
Like something occurred, or like
Accord.
Honda Accord. And I also think this might not be a popular opinion, but I think say if I got a problem with my sibling, I think more people should be open to like telling the siblings, like whoever is closest to the sibling, about like like say I got a problem with my sibling with my sister. We don't. I got no problems. We got no problems.
Yeah. In fact, you guys are best. Yeah. Best relationship out there.
Sometimes you eat too much of my food, but that's it. If I got a problem with my sister, I'm gonna go to her best friend and be like, yo, can you tell my sister that I'm feeling this type of way about her? Or like, can you tell my sister that da-da-da?
So a middleman.
Yeah, because I think if I had this happen to me and I had someone close to me telling me something that my sister was upset about, I would look at that and be like, man, like if my sister is going to that extent, like it's obviously like important to her. Maybe I should take it more serious. Yeah. And like I might not take it serious at the same time. My initial reaction might be like, whatever. But like in the back of my head, I'll be like, if she went to that extent, it's probably something that's serious to her. And you're getting somebody else involved, but if it's like a best friend or like a super close person to you, like whatever, like y'all all family anyway.
Like I get you involved when my brother's acting up.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta do that.
Even if I'm not fixing him, at least he knows that like, hey,
serious.
like it's not just me and her. Like there are more people involved in this, and like I'm being selfish, not taking this as serious as she is.
But yeah, at the end of the day, like obviously time heals all and this and that, but communication is such a big part of it. Like if you guys just like hold this close to you, you never speak up about it, and you're kind of just like building up this tension and rage and this and that, like obviously things are never going to be fixed. It's just going to like break the family apart more and just like create this weird like just energy, right? So I think communication obviously plays a huge part in it, but also secondly, growing up, I think as we like reach adulthood and get older and older, it's very easy to like blame other people for things that happen in our life, right? Like for example, if we're messed up in some way and our parents like didn't treat us well, or like they messed up in some way because they're immigrant parents, it's easy to be like, oh, they made me like who I am, right? If my mom left or if my dad left, because he left, this is why I'm the way I am, right? Which is valid. You're allowed to feel like that. You're allowed to have your trauma. But also, the only way to really move past things is if you confront it like on your own and kind of like take that accountability to realize that like despite all of the things that they have done, this is how I can like grow from this and like learn from this and just move on, or try to move on at least, right? So yes, it sucks if our siblings are not going to help out, if they're not going to do this and that, but it's also up to us to like internally fix this first, instead of continuously blaming every single problem on our parents or our siblings or whatever it is. Obviously there are situations where it's just so messed up to the point where you feel like the only solution you have is to blame them, right? But we can't do that. It's not a longevity type of thing. We can't blame them forever. It's not good for us. We have to learn how to like get out of it,
Yeah.
You like that one. Yeah, I thought you would.
So shorty.
All right, so someone said, how do you balance connections, whether it's family, friends, significant other, things like that? Should we prioritize one or keep all equal? Why? What's so funny about this?
Yeah, I don't know who you think is hosting this podcast, but half this podcast is terrible at keeping in touch with anybody. So
half? Just you? What do you mean half?
I said half of this podcast. Which half am I talking about?
Yeah.
What's going on?
It's so funny because like me and him are so like different in this aspect, where like Mashnoon, you've gotten a little bit better. All right, you've gotten a little bit better. He just is unresponsive to like texts. He responds to FaceTimes, to calls sometimes.
I'm busy.
Doing what?
I'm writing a book.
Making potatoes.
Okay, I'm in my thoughts. Okay.
So this man never responds to any text. Okay, never is a strong word. Rarely ever responds to text, right? To the point where when people try to reach him, they ask me to give him the message.
Yeah.
What?
I mean, I don't understand. That's what I need you for.
And this man also has a hard time keeping in touch with his friends.
That's fact.
Right. So maybe this question is for you.
It's actually me that asks this.
But what is your thoughts on this? Do you think everyone should be equally prioritized, or should people have like a time and place for everything? Go ahead.
I think the people that like it's the people that should be prioritized are the people that like that you catch yourself thinking about a lot throughout the day. Like say you live a day and like you think about X person a couple times, like that's probably your mind telling you that like, hey, maybe you should say what's up to them. Even though he hadn't texted you back in 2 weeks, even though he said he's gonna call you but he never calls you.
You just sound like a ghost, like a ghosting ex.
But I mean, it's the people that come to mind immediately first, and I also think that you should prioritize people that you've been wanting to hit up as well. You know, people that have been on your mind that maybe you've just never you've had like small interaction with them, but like you've been thinking about them a lot. Be like, hey, this would be kind of like a cool friend. Maybe like reach out to them or something. Blah blah blah. But when it comes to like prioritizing, like making a list, that's for you, man.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What's up?
I think prioritizing is like up to you and like what your preferences are. I definitely think that it can't be equal all the time, especially as you get older and older. It's like kind of impossible to see everyone the same amount for each like group of people that you have. Like, for example, you don't live in the same state as your mom. Obviously, you're going to see me more than her, but it's like you still want to prioritize her when you do go back home and like spend time with her, right? So it's like if you don't live in the same state as your family or like whatever it is, obviously you can't spend as much time with them, but when you do see them, they're like your 100% priority. So I think it really depends who you want to prioritize, but you should prioritize the people that really fill up your cup and make you feel good about yourself. Like, don't just like hang out with random people just because you feel like you have to like keep up a front or keep up that relationship. Just like prioritize the people that you have the mental capacity to prioritize and the people that like genuinely make you feel good about yourself.
Also, and like the people that are like lower down the list, it doesn't mean like don't not say nothing to them. Just be like, you send like a little simple text. Be like,
it doesn't even have to be hanging out. Yeah, it doesn't have to be hanging out.
What's up? You been good? Yeah, you don't gotta, a little 10-minute
catch up. What's up? Even like, voice memos, like something like that. Things like that.
You don't gotta go mute.
Send like memes.
You don't gotta be like me.
Yeah, why you do that?
Disappear.
You want to talk about that for a sec? Why do we do that?
I mean, I talked about this in
your friend's episode, right?
I don't know. It was another one, but I think I don't know. I've just been very like, oh, I gotta finish this book.
Yeah.
So like, I don't even like care about hanging out with friends.
But
like
that's not. Mode.
But it's not true. Like I care about hanging out with friends. But it's also I want to finish this book.
Right.
And I think I'm just bad at prioritizing in a sense of like if I got one thing that like I'm focused on, I like cut off everything else. Like I have not played chess in so long. I have like barely like cooked like that no more. Yeah, I know, but it's like
no, but it's not a good thing. Like, you know how you're able to, like, I guess it's a good and bad thing for both of us. Like, you're the type of person that's able to kind of, like, stay focused on that goal and, like, cut off everything else, even though sometimes it's lonely and, like, you want to hang out with people anyway. And, like, you stress yourself out by working too much. Whereas I also stress myself out working too much and I have a central goal. But then I stress myself out even more by hanging out with too many people and, like, doing extra stuff.
Yeah. So just like find like a
good balance.
Equilibrium between the two of us.
Yeah, yeah.
Just be like a
don't be like either of us.
Be a combination of us.
Yeah. Good one?
Yeah, sure.
All right.
What's up?
Next one. Ooh.
Oh.
This is for the seniors in high school. Remember that time? So we actually got a few questions about being in high school and things like that. So someone said, I'm going to be a senior in high school. Any advice on making the most of it? Damn, we graduated almost. I don't even say it.
Don't say it.
I don't want to say it.
Don't say it. Why do you even say that? Why do you even say that?
I'm going to start crying.
I don't want to record no more.
I'm going to actually start tearing up.
You know, it's okay.
Are you going to go to your 10-year reunion?
Hell no.
Why?
I don't care about those people no more.
Okay, even if you don't.
Maybe if I'm like famous by then, sure.
Hey, you have 2 years.
I'll pop out.
All right.
I actually talked about this with my coworkers the other day.
Oh, yeah.
What was the question?
So what did you talk about?
We talked about like if there was one thing that like we could change in our lives, like what would it be? And mine was like, like the person I was in high school. And I think I talked about like, in high school, you're gonna have a lot of people telling you you should be doing this, and a lot like friends or like circles, like families and everything. But like you're gonna have a lot of friends telling you you should be doing this, you should not be doing that. What are you doing in poetry club? You should be on the football team. What are you doing in violin classes? You should be studying for the whatever it is. Like you don't have a lot of people telling you who you should be and who you should not be. But and since we're 14, 15 or senior in high school, 17, 18, it's like your brain is not fully developed. You are going to fall into like the trap.
And you're more malleable. Like you're going to listen to what other people say.
That you're going to fall into what people are saying, and you're going to think that they're saying that for like looking out for you for the better will of you, but they're just like, what's the word? They're just projecting what is going on in their own lives, in their own head. Like they've probably doing the exact same thing. They're telling you that because that's what they wish they were hearing. But it's like, I had so many people in high school, especially like junior, senior, telling me that like, yo, stop doing that, stop dressing like that, stop being like this, stop blah blah. But it's like, and at that time, I knew that I genuinely liked these types of things. But I stopped so many things because of what people said.
Yeah.
And I wish I continued or even started certain things. You know, like I like was briefly in theater. I wish I went fully into theater because not even to be like to go on Broadway or nothing, but I feel like there are certain traits and characteristics that come from doing a certain activity that like you just want in like your arsenal. Like I love the characteristics of someone that was in theater or like a thespian. Like I wish I had more of those characteristics in me now because I love being like theatrical and like, you know, the storytelling art of it and just like stuff like that. So it's like you don't have people telling you stop doing this, stop doing that, bro. Just do whatever you want. Like
explore your
whatever
interests.
It is. And I'm not telling you drop everything, be a professional video gamer, but it's like if you want to play some extra video games, just makes you happy, it's fine, bro. Just do whatever you want because like now is the time when it's like, you know, you're learning skills that are going to carry you on into like the rest of your life. So again, it does not mean like drop everything and do something full time, and or if you want to, whatever, that's another thing, but it's like get whatever you want out of whatever you're doing, and like don't listen to people when they tell you stop doing shit, bro. Like they don't even know what they're talking about. They're saying that because they want to hear the same thing, or they have people telling them that they feel that they got moving on. Like, oh, I mean shit, bro, just do whatever you want.
Yeah, I definitely think that this is the time to like explore your interests and hobbies and just see what kind of person you are, what kind of friend you are. And then on top of that, like really cherish the times you have with your friends, because honestly speaking, most of the friends that you have in high school is because you grew up with them, you go to school with them, you see them every single day, which is a great thing. But once like real life hits, you don't see them as much anymore. You guys like don't remain the same amount of closeness anymore. Which is fine, you know, it doesn't really mean that anything happened necessarily. It's just like life happens. You guys grew up, you go to different schools now, areas, whatever it is. So really cherish the times with them, because I feel like with that aspect, things aren't really the same, like innocent and the same like that anymore. Obviously, as you get older, you'll find like your actual core group of friends that you'll have for the rest of your life for the most part, which is a whole different type of fun, but like cherish those type of friendships. And also remember that like a lot of people put pressure on your senior year and like your times in college, and they say that that's like your best years of your life. And yeah, they can be great, but don't put so much pressure on it where you feel like once that time passes, you won't have something great like that anymore. Or second, if you aren't having as much fun as you would like to, or as everyone else, don't feel like that's the end of your life and that's it. You know, there's so much more to life after that. But yeah, high school, like senior year was a lot of fun for me, actually.
Yeah, I think I enjoyed senior year. Senior year was probably the best year out of all my high school.
Yeah.
Yes, so many things were not good, but you know, for the most part, I was in yearbook club. I controlled the yearbook.
I was driving. That's when the world almost shut down.
sorry for everyone in Long Island in 2016, bro. Y'all had a hard year. Y'all had a hard senior year.
Because I started driving.
I know, bro. Yeah. What's up? One more?
Yeah, one more. Sorry, I was still on the fact that...
You want to keep driving?
No, I was still on the fact that you were in yearbook club.
Yeah, I was in yearbook club. I ran the yearbook for 2016 Cypress Creek High School, Orlando, Florida. I was in the yearbook more than anybody else because I put myself in there more than anybody else.
You did like 500 pages.
I literally had control. I think I was in there like 14 times when I was a very average popularity kid. Like, people were like, "Who the hell is this kid, bro?" Wait, no, I made it.
They have so many pictures of you.
I took the picture. Nah, it would be like we would have a different spread for like all the different clubs, and like I was in a bunch of different clubs. So for example, like we had a film club, and each spread had a big picture, and for every club I was in, I made sure that there was a picture of me in that spread. So like the film club spread, I'm the picture. Is the like club, I'm the picture.
Is there like no hierarchy where like there's above power where they choose like if something is right or wrong, and they see 500 pictures?
Nah, I ran it.
So
I was lead editor and lead photographer. I wasn't lead editor. I was lead photographer for it.
So never make him lead in anything, because he'll just be over all of it.
All my classmates, you know, y'all could.
It was like the valedictorian.
Y'all should have been in there more. Y'all should have had more space, but it was my selfish ass that took up that real estate.
I need to see your yearbook. I haven't seen it.
Sorry, y'all.
All right, the last question is how to learn how to be more emotionally vulnerable. That's a good one, right? I think first it's important. We talked about this in our accountability episode. or self-reflection episode, it's important to kind of see what's stopping you from being vulnerable. Like, what kind of walls are you putting up? What maybe childhood did you have for you to be putting up these walls and like being more like closeted and to yourself? Why is it like seen as bad for you to like be more emotional or open up? Like, was that a bad thing growing up in your family or whatever it was? I think first it's really important to like get to the bottom of that so you can acknowledge that issue on your own first, you know, before you like inflict that problem onto like your partner or like whatever else it is. And then from then on, you can like understand what level you want to start out at. Like, emotionally vulnerable doesn't really necessarily mean like start crying right away and like drop all of your trauma, right? It doesn't mean that. Maybe you can start from like a lower level and then kind of work yourself up if you're comfortable, or just see if you know what your limit is for now, you know?
Yeah, man, that's a hard question.
Do you feel like you're emotionally vulnerable?
Yeah, I have the capability of being emotionally vulnerable.
Yeah.
I think on the everyday I'm absolutely not.
Mm-hmm.
But man, I don't know. I think there can be different reasons why, but I think the reason why my struggle with it is because I'm like, I could be really like emotionally avoidant, like just not wanting to even process what I'm thinking or why I'm feeling the way that I'm feeling, just because like I'm avoiding it. I don't want to think about it. I'm scared to think about it. I know that if I think about it, I'll spiral, whatever it is. You're just like pushing it off. And I think to combat that, I think that's why like I value alone time a lot, especially when like I'm not feeling the best, is because like I can only be like emotionally intuitive when I'm kind of alone or like have the space to process whatever I'm feeling. And I think maybe that's something that like a lot of brown people face. So like, you don't get a lot of alone time, especially from family who like might be, you know, putting the pressure on you to not be that emotionally vulnerable because they don't want to deal, like nobody wants to deal with emotions like that in the house. So maybe it's just like you need some space away. You need like a little vacay by the beach or something. Just something that like it's just you, and you know you give yourself the space to like not be avoidant of it, and like you like stop running away from yourself for a little bit. Because I think we're all like naturally doing that because like everybody's going through something and nobody wants to deal with it all the time at all times, but like we're all going through things simultaneously all day long, and we become so normalized to just like pushing things off. And I think it's important to like schedule out some time to not do that. You know, and like you're probably talking about being vulnerable with somebody else, but I think to be vulnerable with somebody else, you gotta be vulnerable with yourself.
Yeah.
Because like to be vulnerable with somebody else, you gotta understand what's going on with you. And I think a lot of people can't be vulnerable with somebody else because they don't know what they're feeling. They're just like, yeah, I'm not feeling good. Why? A lot of people don't really know how to go deeper than that, like much deeper than that, you know. And like I think it's because a lot of people are running away from what they're actually feeling. And you know, I've said this a bunch of times, but it's like once you kind of do that work and you start answering a lot of questions that you have about yourself, it just makes you so much more confident to like live through life and to like, you know, the person that like you carry through the world and to other people. Like, you know yourself more, you have answers to yourself more, you know. It opens up so much more conversation points because like, you know, you can relate to somebody who's been through something. And if somebody's been through something that you've been through and you have a solution to it, or you know, you have a perspective on it, you know, it can strengthen relationships. And there are just so many positive outlooks that can happen after you kind of do a little bit of self work and you know, answer some of your questions. So that's something that I've been doing a lot this year, is like, you know, like whenever I have like a conversation with somebody, like I always bring it up, is like answering like your own questions is really, really important. Especially when it comes to, you know, this type of stuff, and to, you know, strengthen bonds with everybody else, is you know, just figuring yourself out a little bit more.
Yeah, there are even like those self work journals, you know, where it has like prompts and things like that, where it forces you to like write about it and think about it. So like if you don't know where to start, you don't know what questions to ask yourself, you don't know like how to get there necessarily, maybe think about getting this like journal that helps you do some of that shadow work. And like it's kind of like a practice you can get into, because they have questions every few days or every day that you can spend like 5-10 minutes every single day to work on. And I think it like gets you more in the habit of just like learning about yourself and what you want to fix and how you can get to the person you want to be, you know.
See,
good job, buddy.
Sí, claro.
Good job.
Sí, claro.
What's the emoji of the week?
What, already?
Yeah.
Like no transition, no nothing, just like immediate.
Oh, so sorry. I forget.
You do this thing where you just completely forget about transition.
Yeah, no, I forget about that. So sorry.
Like last week we had the episode with Arini and we were just talking, and then you out of nowhere. Yeah, so at the end of our episodes, like this is the end. Like nobody said anything.
Sorry, I'm just like very in the habit of like just going to the next thing. Yeah,
at the end of our episodes we have some questions, so we're gonna ask you some questions. It's literally how we transition.
Bro, I feel like if you're in the business of doing what I do for so long, like you're very like succinct and to the point. You know?
Understood.
Yeah.
Thanks, buddy.
No transition.
So our emoji for the week will be the
bicep.
Birthday emoji. What'd you say? The bicycle?
Bicep.
No, it's gonna be the birthday emoji.
Yeah, the birthday emoji.
Some balloons.
Some balloons. Some confetti. Yeah.
Some of those.
But yeah, I hope you guys liked this little advice session.
Yeah.
Where we talked about, all things under the sun.
Yeah. Do you have any like useless advice?
Useless advice.
Like 10-second advice.
Not useless.
We should change the name to like
10-second useless.
No, not even 10 seconds. Just like you have any like useless advice.
Yeah.
Like pointless advice. Okay. I mean, I kind of said mine in the beginning.
Oh, that's not useless though. That was a good one.
Okay.
Mine is maybe like consider putting in a hair mask once in a while. It makes your hair like nice and soft. Like if you guys are watching the video, my hair has been looking a little, nice.
Yeah.
Shiny and soft.
It has. What about mine?
Yeah, yours have been looking nice too.
I'm growing my shit out.
There's this new addition that someone was asking for in our episodes where we introduce like a Bangla word in every episode.
Bangla word.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the word for birthday? You know it?
No.
Jonmodin. So birthday is Jonmodin.
Yeah, Jonmodin. Happy Jonmodin to us.
Happy Jonmodin. No. See, this is how you make people learn the wrong thing.
Okay.
I don't know if is there a happy birthday song in Bangla?
Of course, there has to be.
What is it?
Hamar Desh, Bangladesh. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Kotish. Do everything that I said.
You didn't say an advice. You think you can get away with this?
For all my guys out there, if you're gonna get a teddy bear for your partner, make sure it's not like an oversized one, because truthfully, they only like it in the moment. They don't like to keep it around. They see it as a waste of space, a waste of time, and just
it sounds like you're subbing someone.
Garbage, dirt. Get those small ones.
If you guys don't know, there's this huge teddy bear that's always on my couch. Okay, we always have to move it when we're recording the episode because it is so gigantic. And now he's mad at me because
you see what's going on?
I wanted to donate it to a poor child.
I'm here trying to do something good.
A poor child.
I'm here trying to make this woman happy. Now look. Now I'm trash.
Would you rather give it to a child that doesn't have any teddy bears, or someone
Where'd this child come from? I'd have to bring in a child. Thank you guys so much for listening to this episode of Difficult Dish, and thanks.
We love you.
Allah Hafiz. Happy birthday, mushroom.
And Mo.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.